Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Traveling Shaver. This week, I find myself in wonderful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So before we get talking about the city, let's talk about the gear. So of course, I'll be using my fantastic Starling. This will be on the, 7th use on this Gem PTFE blade. One thing I have changed is I am now using the green open comb plate. I am, of course, using the Vanillé Travel Bowl. The soap I have sitting in here right now is Don Marco from Razzle Rock. I've used this before. I don't recall what the scent notes are, and I'm kind of susceptible due to wonderful seasonal allergies. So hope I don't offend anybody if I don't describe the scent notes, or at least what it smells like to me. And the brush I'm using here is going to be, I think you do in a hotel, right? My F1 Innovator from Rich Man Shaving. So I just had this sitting in this poor excuse for a coffee cup while I was in the shower real fast. You can see it still has plenty of water in the knot. Now because I'm in a hotel, this hotel does not allow me to plug the sink, so there will be some running water, so I apologize for that. So we're just going to kind of get this going here, and we will start lathering up Don Marco with the F1 Innovator. So as I mentioned, this week I am in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is the second largest city in PA, right behind Philadelphia. It is the county seat of Allegheny County. It is also the 27th largest city in the US. Now, for any of you sports fans out there, it is home of 3 professional sports teams. Let's see, the Steelers, the Penguins, and the Pirates, all of which sport black and gold for their colors, kind of as a Pittsburgh solidarity thing. It is also known as the Steel City and has been voted as one of the most livable cities in the country. I used to live in Pennsylvania, but I was in south central Pennsylvania in a town called Chambersburg. So I don't know how livable Pittsburgh is, but from what I've seen the past couple days that I've been here, it's not that bad. Now, I'm not in Pittsburgh proper right now. I'm in one of these suburbs, but it isn't that bad of an area. It is actually quite nice here. The area around here is absolutely gorgeous. Right now it's spring, so there's tons of flowers blooming, trees are getting their colors back. It's absolutely beautiful here. Of course, the closest airport to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is the Pittsburgh International Airport. There are plenty of flight options if you're coming in from pretty much anywhere in the US on any carrier. The airport itself does seem a little small, especially for the size of the city that Pittsburgh is. Now, one thing that I like about the airport itself is that the rental car location is actually located right on site. So all you have to do is get your bag from whichever baggage claim you go to, figure out, you can walk down. The rental car place has their counters right inside the airport, right at the counter. And they just tell you what door to exit to go get your rental car, which is really nice. And then when you return it, of course, you just go right back to the airport. So you don't have to worry about trying to remember multiple addresses, flinging them out everywhere here, or plugging in the wrong address into your phone or GPS. Traffic that I've experienced so far isn't too bad here. Flinging lather everywhere. I'm kind of like Glenn Helly in his last video. Lather's just flying everywhere. Still trying to figure out this Vanillé bowl. I love the size, but I'm trying to figure out what knot works best in that bowl to load and then face lather. But anyway, so the airport in Pittsburgh's not bad. Not too familiar with the food options. I was kind of in a hurry to get out when I arrived on Monday. But it is a fairly nice sized airport. And I'll be leaving early enough this week that food options won't really matter. I'll be leaving before any major meal. So one thing that with Pittsburgh as well is it was also named the Food City of the Year for 2019. So there are plenty of restaurants to visit. There are a total of 38 various museums, 8 breweries, and 9 stadiums or, must have the word I'm looking for, arenas. I had a brain fart for a minute. So there's plenty to do around the area. Of course, there's all the other big city attractions that you want to do here. If you don't want to be in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh is located on the eastern side of the state, pretty close to Ohio, so you can just jump across the border. If you're trying to knock off all states, you can jump across the border there and go to Ohio and knock off one more. The people are, from what I've seen, not too bad. I mean, you hear a lot of stories, at least about people on the East Coast, of being, how do I put this without really offending anybody? A little bit more direct and bold in their manner of speaking, not like the people on the West Coast that kind of sugarcoat everything or tend to pull their punches. People on the East Coast, from some experience in the past and the stereotypes, would say that the people on the East Coast are kind of blunt. I haven't seen that so far this week. I mean, granted, I did used to live in Pennsylvania, but I lived in a small town and times were a lot different then. Look at all that lather. Didn't put a whole lot in the bowl, and I still have enough here in the bowl to whip up and keep going. But what I use the Vanulay travel bowl for is mostly to load my brush, so then I can kind of do a face lather. That seems to work best, at least for me. For those of you that have the Vanulay travel bowl, if you use it in some other manner or have found a way that it works better for you, please let me know. Someone was very generous enough to send that to me. Wish I knew who that was so I can thank them. But they sent that, and I'm still trying to figure it out. This is my second trip with it. I've used it at home a few times. And I'm still trying to dial that in. And again, I apologize for the running water. I wish hotels would they make this huge deal about saving your towels and using the same towel for multiple days if you're at the same hotel for multiple days. Reuse your towel, save water. But we're not gonna let you plug your sink, so you can rinse off your razors. Or for those of you that have hair, style your hair. Now, one thing about the East Coast, or this about Pennsylvania, this general area, if you are not used to traveling here, one thing to keep in mind is that there are many toll roads in Pennsylvania. So if you're gonna fly into Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Harrisburg, whatever, and wanna travel around, or go down to DC or any of these surrounding areas, keep in mind there are toll roads. Plan accordingly. Something else really cool about Pittsburgh is that it hosted the first professional football game and their very first World Series. So if you are a sports fan, this would be a great place to go. And you have baseball, football, and hockey professional teams that call Pittsburgh home. And for those of you who are professional, or what do they call it? Professional wrestling, the sports entertainment, if that is your kind of cup of tea or your entertainment, how you get your entertainment out of sports. There are a couple of professional wrestlers, both past and present, who came out of Pittsburgh. One of those being Bruno Sammartino, back in the World Wrestling Federation days, before they were forced to change their name to whatever they are now, WWE or something like that. Let's see, Kurt Angle. Let's see, am I right? Kurt Angle? Yes. Kurt Angle, the former Olympic gold medalist turned professional wrestler, is from this area. Let's see, Corey Graves is also from here. And let's see, I'm trying to think who the other one is. Elias and some other ones. And many more that, for whatever reason, were not specifically listed. So I've just done pass number 1. We'll go up on pass number 2. Starling's a fantastic razor. That's why I love traveling with this thing, is the gem blades last a lot longer than most of the DE blades that I use. It is a very, I wouldn't say very mild, but it is a mild razor, but also very efficient. It's a very efficient razor, especially with the open comb plate. Now, for those of you that have not used the Starling and are wondering if the open comb or green plate has a different aggression level to that of the purple plate, let's see what I say here. If the open comb green plate and the safety bar purple plate differ in aggressiveness, from what I've been able to tell in using both of them, is that there's not a lot of difference. Both of them feel mild yet efficient. Now, I don't want to use the mild, I want to call something mild and scare people away, because they think, oh, it's going to be like let's say a Tech or a Resurrect Mamba or something on those lines. Not saying that those aren't great razors. I have a couple Techs and they are fantastic. I've never used a Mamba though. I just know some people tend to lean towards more aggressive razors like the Future or the Micromatic Open Comb for the gem style razors. The Starling itself, as I mentioned, is mild. I have cut myself with this a couple times. I do get a couple of weepers, especially with the brand new blade. The gem blades are really, really sharp, kind of like feathers, but I find them more smooth than a feather blade. But I say that it's mild in the fact that after a couple of shaves where it's kind of found that sweet spot on the blade. Yeah, maybe a couple weepers here and there, but they're generally going to be small weepers. Nothing that I'm too worried about. And once you get comfortable with the razor, just like anything else, once you get comfortable with any kind of razor, you can go kind of fast. The angle, you find that kind of solely out of muscle memory there. And I've noticed with the Starling that the angle, for me at least, is very similar to that of the Micromatic open comb. Where it's not quite the same angle as you'd use with the DE, but it's not quite flat against your face like you would with other gem style razors like the 1912 or even the L1 on the Saber. Just a fantastic shave here. The Don Marco and a couple other soaps from Razzlerock were very generously, or some of the that had to tongue tie here. I was very fortunate enough to receive a bunch of samples from a good friend of mine, Jeremy Blankenship. If you're active on many of the forums, you'll undoubtedly recognize that name. He and I were talking a little while back, and I had mentioned I had never tried Razzlerock soaps. And he said they perform really well. He didn't want to call them, I don't like the word budget soaps. That just kind of makes them sound cheap and they don't perform well. That's just me personally. So they're great performers, and for the price, they're fantastic. They perform well, and they're really, really priced competitively. And he was kind enough to send me a bunch of samples. And I will say that I am definitely genuinely impressed with the performance here. Now, is the performance going to be earth-shattering, the next big thing in wet shaving? No. But our Razzlerock soaps, something that you can use, get a really good shave with, and be satisfied with both the cushion, post-shave feel, glide, and pretty much everything else that we pay attention to in modern artisan and non-artisan soaps. And do they have nice scents? Absolutely. They definitely have really good scents. Don Marco's fantastic. Another one I was going to use or thought about using tonight was Emperor, which is their Creative Ventus homage. So you can definitely get good solid shaves with fantastic post-shave feel from their products. So do you have to go out and chase all the latest releases from all the artisans? No. Can you? Absolutely. But you can get fantastic shaves off of stuff like Don Marco. You probably can't see that. Don Marco just sent a little plastic baggie. And I have other soaps in here as well. But you can get good shaves with pretty much anything modern. They're all going to perform well, even in hard work like they have at the hotels. But again, the soap that I used was was Don Marco from Razorock, very generously sent to me in a sample from Mr. Jeremy Blankenship. I also want to give a shout out to my very good friend Josh Morris, also known as Redbeard Shaves from YouTube, and I'm sure you've seen him in a lot of the Facebook groups as well. He is the one that actually named this channel, so shout out to Josh. And thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to catch you in the next episode where I might be back in Pennsylvania. I may be somewhere else. Don't know. We shall see. Catch you guys later.